If this change is what I think it is, it's a great thing for resellers. Welcome to Matt's Profit Pursuit. I'm Matt. I'm a part-time reseller who goes to the Goodwill bins to find items to then sell those items on eBay for a profit. I have, I think, 22 or something items going out today. I'm running a huge sale still, so a lot of low dollar items, items that are in abundance at the bins, and items that you probably have in your closet. And we're going to talk about a change I noticed on eBay today. But first, let's check out what's sold. I'm going to pull the orders that I have here in my garage, and we're going to run to my storage unit. First is this lot of cards. I forgot how many there were, but they are 1995 Fleer, like gold medallion, I think is what they're called. I only have pennies into these cards, and they sold for $6.49 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $12.46, and after fees and shipping, I get $5.48. Sold this plush guy from Zootopia, I believe. He's the DMV worker. I paid $1 for this guy, and it sold for $7.49 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $15.40, and after fees and shipping, I get $5.96. Sold a few pairs of pants. Sold these Torrid jeans. I paid $2.35 for these jeans, and they sold for $7.49 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $17.69, and after fees and shipping, I get $5.34. These 7 for All Mankind jeans. I paid $1.60 for these jeans, and they sold for $8.50 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $19.06, and after fees and shipping, I get $4 even. These Levi's 514s. I paid $2.25 for these pants, and they sold for $10 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $19.45, and after fees and shipping, I get $7.63. These 2 pairs of Calvin Klein, like yoga pants. I paid $1.75 for these pants, and they sold for $8.50 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $18.33, and after fees and shipping, I get $6.22. This Prana flannel shirt dress thing. I paid 75 cents for this dress, and it sold for $7.49 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $14.66, and after fees and shipping, I get $6.29. The pants do well. Shirts and things like that, not so much. This is a little Hatchet Man figure from the group ICP, Insane Clown Posse. This is the logo to their record label, Psychopathic Records. Some of this stuff is pretty collectible. If you ever see this logo, it's worth looking up. And this figure sold for $20 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $27.71, and after fees and shipping, I get $17.08. And then this pair of Nikes. I paid $1.80 for these shoes, and they sold for $20 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $30.89, and after fees and shipping, I get $16.15. Now let's run over to the storage unit real quick and grab a few more items. So this is all the orders I talked about in the last video that I did not feel like pulling. Let's grab them now. So I just have all my bins on these rolling carts, so I can move them out into the hallway and get to the back. The first item is in G13, and it is these Neff sunglasses. I did some retail arbitrage lately, so I paid up for these at $5.77, and they sold for $19.95 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $27.81, and after fees and shipping, I get $17.14. So I got about $6.80 true net profit on these items just from buying online. Next item is in 4A. I actually have 2 items in there. First is this Harry Potter talking hat that does not work. I paid 57 cents for this, and since it didn't work, I only sold it for $7 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $22.45, and after fees and shipping, I get $8.11. Next is this vintage Splash Bombs baseball bat. I paid 60 cents for this bat, and it sold for $9 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $17.45, and after fees and shipping, I get $8.14. Next item is in 3A, and it is this pair of Ariat work boots. I paid $4.95 for these boots and they sold for $29.74 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $44.79, and after fees and shipping, I get $27.55. Next item is in G30, and it is this lot of DC figures. I paid 60 cents for this lot of toys and it sold for $7.49 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $13.49, and after fees and shipping, I get $5.45. And another item out of G13, and it is this pair of Atwood Vans. I paid $2.41 for these shoes and they sold for $7.99 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $17.47, and after fees and shipping, I get $5.79. Next item is in G9, and it is this pair of Nikes. I paid $3.40 for these shoes and they sold for $59.99 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $76.24, and after fees and shipping, I get $53.75. Next item is in 5A. It is these like American flag, or at least star, Converse. I paid $2.60 for these shoes and they sold for $16 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $25.81, and after fees and shipping, I get $12.62. Next order is coming out of G18, and it is this lot of Pokemon VHS and this little Pokemon belt thing. I paid $4 for this lot and it sold for $16 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $37.30, and after fees and shipping, I get $16.66. Next item is in the G bin, and it is this Samsung power cord. I paid 58 cents for this power cord and it sold for $7.99 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $15.39, and after fees and shipping, I get $4.84. Next item is in G10, and it is this Sony Discman. I paid 40 cents for the CD player and it sold for $20 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $28.20, and after fees and shipping, I get $17.83. And the final item is in G26. Those Vans. These Vans, I picked these up because of the print, but kids' shoes are just a tough sell. I paid $1.10 for these and they sold for $6 plus shipping. The buyer is all in at $13.81, and after fees and shipping, I get $4.84. So the change I noticed today was this here, and this popped up when I went to list a motorcycle riding hoodie that had like Kevlar plates in it, like padding, whatever stuff in it on the elbows, shoulders, and the back. And it prompted me that, hey, this is a trademarked word that you're using, Kevlar. It's made by DuPont. So I'm really hoping that they're going to start giving us a warning as far as things that are VeRO'd. The listing I copied, I changed the wording a little bit. I took some things off, and that one had like the little TM logo on it, the trademark for Kevlar, and it had DuPont on there. So I wonder if I had left that, if that would have been okay. But I don't see why eBay can't flag those words and give us a warning before we list them, instead of dinging our accounts for getting a VeRO for things like that. I totally understand fake items. You should not be selling fake items, and you should get a VeRO for that. But if I buy if I own an item, I should be able to sell it however I want to whoever I want, as long as I'm being truthful about it and I am promoting it correctly about what it is. I just really hope that's the case, that we are going to start getting warnings about keywords that are VeRO'd. That would be awesome. Let me know down below if you've had any VeROs. I've had a couple. I went through, when I first started out, the whole Velcro and onesie, things like that, that I feel like a lot of people get. I also had one for a bomber style beanie. I put bomber beanie. I didn't put bomber style, I believe. If I would have put bomber style, I believe is what they said. And it was a Carhartt one, so I was afraid that Carhartt's going to start VeROing things, but it was bomber. There's a company that owns bomber for bomber jackets and hats, things like that. I think that's it as far as I know. I had a listing removed that was, it was those like the gender reveal things that pop and have a cloud of smoke. For obvious reason, it's kind of like combustible or whatever. So that got removed, and that's fine. They were never going to sell anyways. I was getting ready to delist them next time it came across my plate. They were just extra ones that we had left over from my little guy. They were all pink ones because we had boys, so we used all the blue ones. That's about it. Other than that, I've been getting lots of sales, but again, it's because I'm running this sale 50% off on a lot of low dollar things, trying to get it out of here. But I did just have to increase my store to the premium. I had basic, so the next level premium, I believe. And my goal is to get back down to basic. I need to have less items listed, but just better items. That's my goal. So I'm going to get these things packed up and then break down the sales. Alright, for those items, including what the buyers paid for shipping, I have a total of $453.61. After the fees and shipping, I get $256.87, minus the cost of goods, which was $38.58, and that gives me $218.29. Take 25% and put it aside for taxes, which is $54.57, and that gives me $163.72. Take 20% and invest it back into the business, which is $32.74, and that puts $130.98 in my pocket for about 5.5 hours worth of work, and that is 3.4 times my investment on these items. Again, I would not recommend people selling items for so low. Like I said, I'm trying to get rid of those items and fill them with better items. However, I did just have, if not my biggest weekly payout, one of my second biggest weekly payout, and it is almost as much as I bring home from my work weekly. So that's pretty interesting, knowing that I do this 15 to 20 hours a week part-time. My normal payout is around $400 or so. So even at that math of $400 for even, let's say, 20 hours, I can do that in 2 days. And I could work 10-hour days and get that done in 2 days. So it's just interesting. I'm working towards, I really want to go full-time. I got some stuff we're trying to pay off right now. We just bought this house last year, I guess the year before now. Anyways, we've been in this house for a little over a year, so we're trying to pay. We're not going to pay the house off anytime soon, but we're trying to pay some other loans back and things like that, and then just build up. I want to build up a little bit of savings, before I ever make that move. So working on it, but it's just taking longer than I hoped it would. If we didn't buy this house, it could be full-time already, but we did, so it's done and over with. That's it for me. I'll catch you in the next one. God bless. Peace.